And that nigga did it how I always wanted to do it, and I'll never be able to do it like that.
Yeah. Back again. I want to start this episode in a weird tangent. I'm not in a good wrestling mood right now, if I can say that. I'm not in a good wrestling space right now. We're gonna do a segment called "Tell Me Why You're Mad." Okay, and I'm gonna go first. I don't care. So, tell me why you're mad. Tell me why you're mad. I'm mad because someone said that it was a good idea for Natty to wrestle Rhea Ripley. Like, we believe in that wholeheartedly, and that we're okay with that. And then we want Natty to cut promos. Listen, look me in the camera. Focus. You out there that's going to watch this video. You don't believe in Natty as a promo expertise. You don't even like Natty, okay? Can Natty wrestle? Yes. Is Natty attractive? Yes. Okay? Do you want her talking on the mic? No. And let's be honest, as IWC fans, who's watched Total Divas? Oh, I'm the only one? Fine. Yeah, she annoyed me on Total Divas, and I don't like her then. Number 2, I know we're going to Saudi Arabia, but you don't got to give me Mustafa Ali versus Gunther. That's stupid. And I don't want it. And 3, Twitter is pissing me off right now, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. This is stupid. Welcome to the house. Okay, this is stupid, Twitter. Stop giving me feedback of what I don't want to hear. This is dumb. My compadre, my brother's with me on this episode as well. He dates women who are 3'10" to 7'1". He dates women that like the blue bag of tropical Skittles. If you like the purple bag, there's something wrong with you and you need help. Just honest to God truth. I don't make the rules. It just is what it is. So, yeah. Intro! Ladies and gentlemen,
Ladies and gentlemen, yo, what's going on, y'all? It's another episode of Hot Take Wrestling. You got the duo here tonight. You got the Sami and KO show. We're going to go ahead and make it do what it do, man. You know, what I like to say, and I always say it, you know, breaking the fifth wall here for a little bit. One monkey don't stop the show. And not to make it racial, because it's definitely not meant to be a racial thing, but 3 monkeys don't stop the show. We're going to keep this thing rolling.
See that? You can't say that. Okay, one. You got to give us 3 reasons why you're mad. So you got to tell them why you're mad. You got to do that.
Okay, 3 reasons. Okay, really quickly. I do think WWE is kind of fumbling with Sami and KO as the champion. That's one reason I'm mad. I think they need to be propelled just a little bit more higher. This episode of Raw this week had them kind of as the center focal point. So, all right, it's some improvement there. But yeah, let's make sure we keep it consistent.
Yeah.
Sami and KO are main event stars as solo, you know, wrestlers. So as a tag team, they need to be treated as such as well. So that's one. Let's see. Kind of what you touched on, man. This cultural appropriation every time we go to Saudi Arabia. Not saying Mustafa Ali is not capable of giving us an entertaining match with Gunther,
right?
But let's make it believable. Now, has he been relevant? Somewhat. I mean, you've seen him have matches for the past couple of weeks, you know, months, whatever, on Monday Night Raw with this whole new gimmick of being positive. Where did they get that from? But I guess the only good thing about that is they didn't just make it a random, oh, yeah, it's going to be Mustafa versus Gunther. No, they made it a battle royal. And it wasn't a predictable battle royal. I will give them that. It wasn't predictable. So kudos for that. But the cultural appropriation thing, yeah, nah, they need to quit with that. Yeah. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it when it comes to that. And last but not least, what's the third one? I am, you know, this title unification match between Rhea and Bianca needs to happen sooner than later. Sooner than later. Rhea's over. Rhea is over right now. I don't know how they're going to keep her heel. But let's stop this trend of having our champions at the reboot after WrestleMania have these throwaway matches that don't really mean too much. Nothing against Natalya, nothing against Zelina, but y'all didn't make them into viable competition contenders to be having these matches at these premier pay-per-views, and we just supposed to be like, yeah, we're behind them. No, let's do a better job of building up. And the way we can build up is we unify those those women championships, and we get the mid card going finally.
Bro, you're preaching, bro. Like this, like I'm not even gonna hold you. Okay, all right. So I was looking at the roster for both Bianca and Rhea. They have no choice but to either have two heel champions or turn Rhea Ripley into a face. Because at this point, there's no one for them to face. The people that they miss right now, Ember Moon, Ruby Soho, Ruby Riott, that you guys may know, Soraya, and Toni Storm. You know why they miss those guys? Because you could input them anywhere and allow them to be have a healthy build and utilize them properly. I'm sorry, but you haven't shown me anything with Zelina Vega. You've barely put her in any matches. We know Natty can wrestle. We know she can. That's not the problem. You haven't made her a viable prospect for us to be like, this could possibly be like, we know the outcome of these matches, so therefore we're not interested. That's what makes them boring. Do I think Natty can wrestle? Yes. I doubt that she can beat Rhea Ripley? Yes, because Rhea Ripley is too over right now. Now, if this was AEW, then it'd be a whole other story, but I'm not going to touch that. We'll attempt to pull. But I do really genuinely feel like you're laying waste to a quality championship run with Rhea Ripley. Like I don't get the premise of like, for me, when you book somebody to become champion, I don't get the premise of booking them against someone randomly. It's got to be someone deserving. If Rhea wins the title, okay, then let's run it back with Asuka. Just see what happens. Let's just run it back with Asuka, see if she wants to run it back, whatever. But that's why she don't sound like she doesn't want to do anything.
Right.
If Rhea wins the title, okay, fuck it. Let's get damage control in here. Because you got Io, you got Bayley, you got Dakota Sky in a faction or whatever, but they're all viable single wrestlers, but you can't use them. Because now if one wins, are you saying that if Io Sky wins, Bayley's going to support that? You're a fucking liar. She's a heel. It's not going to fucking work out that way. It doesn't make sense. Might as well unify.
Yep.
Might as well unify.
And to touch on that briefly, you got Shayna and Ronda being propelled as kind of like the threat for the women tag titles now. So, we're not going to see Damage Control being utilized in that fashion right now, unless, and I was thinking this listening to Busted Open podcast, unless they kind of try to go in the same vein as Hardy's, Edge and Christian, and Dudley Boys. And they try to do that for the women's division. And they do that with Liv and Raquel, Ronda and Shayna, and Damage Control, Io and Dakota. Which could happen. But again, these are, Shayna and Ronda are two women that could be utilized in the women's title picture if you didn't have them as a tag team. I don't mind them being a tag team, but Shayna's another one they fumbled the bag on where, she wasn't being utilized. She's been a women's tag champion before already.
Right.
She should be, one of those people that's looked at as a threat, you know what I mean, when it comes to their championships. She should be like a female Brock Lesnar, kind of how they did with Ronda. Don't necessarily has to be as strong as a Brock Lesnar, but that's where she should be in the trajectory of the women's roster.
For me, I don't like Ronda Rousey. And it ain't even like for like her accolades or how she said that wrestling was like scripted or anything like that shit. I don't like her as a competitor or as a wrestler. Shayna, I fuck with because I've seen her grow and do better or whatever. But I feel like the tag team face only like benefits Ronda Rousey. Like in no shape, fashion, or form should Ronda Rousey touch a title, in my opinion. Like she's had that moment. We're past that.
Yeah.
Like even heel Ronda Rousey is like corny to me. I'm just like, you bored me. What are you going? You gonna say something bad about the city? You're gonna tell us how all the women's roster is inferior, and how you take all of them down, and how you're gonna beat them. Okay, getting really bored.
It's stat padding for her right now. Like, you know, she's held SmackDown Women's Championship, she's held the Raw Women's Championship. You know, now okay, what else is left? You know, she hold the women's tag titles. You know, with Shayna. So that's really kind of how I look at it, and that makes her what, Grand Slam champion. Does it? Or no, she hasn't won the NXT title.
No, because don't say it out loud, because if VKM hears you, let's put around here,
But see, with that though, you know, it's just in how you utilize things and how you make them make sense. A lot of these titles, like when Bayley and Sasha were women's tag champions, and how they made it their business to make sure, hey, we made an appearance on NXT. That's one of those facets where, okay, we can legitimize this, where we say, hey, you know what? We're going to have a women's tag team unification match. Mm-hmm. Whoever the women tag champs are down at NXT, they're going to face the women from the main roster tag champs, unify those tag titles. That way, anytime we're utilizing those titles, it can be used on either three of those shows. You know what I'm saying? Up through the cards, the pay-per-views, whatever. It makes sense, you know, to do that. Hell, the women's NXT championship could be that quote-unquote mid-card.
I wouldn't mind having, like, they keep the NXT championship for women and then just get rid of the Raw and SmackDown, because you haven't switched them at all. So I don't know what the point of that was. And then in general, like, you might as well, because I need, like, Stephanie McMahon needs to come back and start pushing the initiative that women need more time for their matches, because watching Rhea Ripley, like, I think Rhea Ripley should have fought the following people: Asuka again, Piper Niven, and Raquel Gonzalez at some point. Like that should have been the arc for her. Like, just start her on the arc and everything else. Zelina Vega should have been, I get she's Puerto Rican, I get she's got Latin roots. SmackDown, there it is. There in Puerto Rico. Go from there. Mother effing me, Bianca, it's time now. Heel. Time to change her heel. A little heel turn. Because after you see them, like, oh, y'all booing me in Puerto Rico for EO? One, Lucha Underground EO Sky is legit.
Right.
Two, if the moment you getting booed, you didn't see John Cena, Jane. Change the narrative. Make your own. Because heel Bianca Belair and NXT, it'd be beautiful.
Had that great match with Rhea down there at that takeover.
Yep.
You know, so it's things. Even if they kind of did a women's show and they did it in the vein of Saturday night, you know, main event, where you get it maybe even once a month. It's enough women on the roster, you know, collectively, NXT, Raw and SmackDown, to build up to that kind of stuff where, you know, it validates having one women's champion, having a women's mid-card champion, you know, having the tag titles, and that be where they get their moment once a month, where you're propelling these women, so you're building their status as superstars. They got their own show, you know what I mean? So that gives them even more incentive to have great matches. You know, and why wasn't Evolution a once, you know, even if it was just once a year, why not give the women their own pay-per-view once a year?
It was a good pay-per-view.
Yeah.
It was a solid pay, like, for it to happen once a year, it was a good fucking pay-per-view. It was solid. And for people to be like, you know, like, I get there's some people who are not on board, like, I'm not fine with women's wrestling. No. Because there's some good wrestlers out there. Like, listen, Indy Hartwell, So we start, and there's another one that I want to mention, but I can't remember her name. Them being brought up from NXT, awesome, good, great. But now you got a problem because now you got to build them up. And then now you got to make sure that it's going to be utilized properly for these upcoming talents. Because I love Liv Morgan, but her being out is like super blaring for the tag team championships. Like they brought out Ronda and Shayna. I was like, okay, all right, yeah, we know it's okay. All right, great, okay, move on. Because like I don't like Ronda Rousey like parading around in this manner, ma'am. You got knocked out by Holly Holm. Leave me alone, okay? I don't trust you. I don't believe in you. I don't believe in anything you have going on right now. Shayna Baszler, you got knocked out on The Ultimate Fighter. We saw that on reality TV, but we moved past that because you did such good work at NXT, so we're over that. We saw you get your ass knocked out, so need you to chill. I need more of a dynamic. The way they build up some of these men, they have to start putting that initiative towards women. And it has to go that way. Because if Impact can put Tessa Blanchard versus Sami Callihan, and that'd be one of the best matches that Impact's ever had, you damn sure could put more effort into Rhea. You damn sure could put more effort in Bianca. And people will say they should wrestle men. And I believe them, because who else are they going to wrestle on the women's roster that's going to give them a viable match?
Right. And that's my problem. That's why I push so hard, when we had this conversation about a mid-card title. Because for me personally, it's kind of hard for me to take a Zelina Vega, serious in terms of being a worthy adversary against a Rhea, against a Bianca, who against a Charlotte, where there's such a serious size, factor there. That's, it's just kind of like, okay, it's the Rey Mysterio factor, and even with some of those matches with Rey Mysterio, it's still like, all right, come on, bro, really? I'm really supposed to believe, what I'm saying, Rey gonna do this to, Big Show or whoever, that's sitting there just, a couple of feet taller than him. But, a mid-card, I think, would benefit the women division just, leaps and bounds. And if you just utilize the women division as a whole with all three shows, I think it just propels, the product that much better. And then Evolution could have been one of those things where you break that third wall. You open that forbidden door and you invite women from Impact, you invite women from AEW, and you have those matches where we can see maybe a Jade Cargill versus a Bianca, you know what I mean? Or you see Jamie Hayter versus Bayley, or anybody, Britt Baker, maybe against, Becky Lynch. Like, that's what we should be doing at this point in time in wrestling, just to continue to make it exciting and different and fresh and new. And some of the, the New Japan talent, the same way. That's the one thing I do give AEW credit, even when we do take a boo-boo on them every now and again. I love the fact that we are able to see, these wrestlers from, the Japanese culture come over and have matches and be introduced to a completely new audience. That way, as fans, we may say, hey, you know what? I like this guy. Let me go ahead and continue to follow and make sure I watch him going forward. You know what I mean? That's how it was for me with Will Ospreay. Once I finally got a glimpse of seeing him wrestle, I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. You know what I mean? So that type of stuff, I think this is where, who knows where? I mean, WWE got bought, so the new owners, they may want to see that kind of stuff, and it may very well happen. There is certain things taking place where you can kind of see whose influences here or there, with certain people being positioned for certain things. But, it's the tried and true WWE way, like we just talking about the Mustafa or the Lena having the match in Puerto Rico. But, other than that, though, what can you do?
I feel like genuinely with a lot of the stuff that comes along with that, there's got to be a better build. You got 3 hours on Raw. and you're doing a good job of utilizing the talent you want to build and being able to kind of make people relevant the way you want to. Again, with the Mustafa Ali thing, am I mad at the result of it? No. Do I hate the fact that he's getting the opportunity when I feel like there's a better match out there? Yes. And it's not, and I think it's more so my bias because I want to see the match the way that, as a fan, I want to view it. Like I think that, like, so for example, it was Final 3, Mustafa Ali, Ricochet, and
Bronson Reed,
right? And they set it up perfectly where it was like, oh shit, Rico about to get in this motherfucker, it's about to be on a popping, and then he had him on his shoulders, and it was I guess it was looking like they were gonna knock out Jonah Hex, and then we get Mustafa Ali and Ricochet in the ring to figure out who's gonna do what. Which is not a bad thing. Like, you know, if Mustafa cheats, okay, there it is. There's that heel factor like that. But if it's one of those things like they got Mustafa Ali as like the tweener right now. And look, I'm just gonna say it. Every pay-per-view that I've seen in Jeddah or in Saudi Arabia has been boring as shit crowd-wise. They have not been engaged. They're playing with fireworks and firecrackers and shit with sparklers. Motherfuckers don't look at Titantron to see if they can own that motherfucker. Like, they're not watching the wrestling. They're not paying attention to the wrestling at all.
Well, no, I gotta disagree there because what was that they had over there where I think that was that Brock was champion? Where the elimination chamber they had over there?
That was like the first one.
They were into it though. They was into it. Not the first one. This one had Matt Riddle and Austin Theory and all of them in it. The crowd was into that one. The crowd was into that one.
Bro, they plugged in it though, bro. I'm not gonna agree with you on any of that. I'll go back and watch it.
Go back and watch it. I always say you don't have to take my word for it. You go back, you make your own assessment. But the crowd was white hot for that particular match. Now I'm not gonna say the entire pay-per-view they was into it, but for that particular match, they was into it. Now you tell me next episode if I'm lying once you go back and watch it.
I'll go back and watch it, and I'll be like, all right, you were right. Or hey,
if you still feel the same, you still feel the same. But for that particular match, I think your stance will change. Just that particular match.
I just think that as a unit with how they move certain things, like that, like, you know, like people are now saying, oh, Backlash should always be in Puerto Rico. No, don't do that.
But even if they did, or it doesn't necessarily have to be Backlash. If you want to just say, hey, you know what, once a year we hit in Puerto Rico, great, you know. But as long as it's a great event like we had, you know, Clash at the Castle, that shit was amazing.
That shit was amazing. That shit was fire.
It needs to be like that. I feel like, you know, Puerto Rico was happy to have WWE there rather. So, you know, they was excited. You know what I mean? But not to say that it wasn't matches that got the fans excited. You know, the Bad Bunny, Damian Priest match definitely had them excited. The EO, Bianca one, like you said earlier. But, you know, just to make it a bit more interesting. I think that reset after Mania is always kind of like where it's like, ugh. You know, the approach to that follow-up pay-per-view. And I think they need to put a little bit more effort. I remember back in the day, you get WrestleMania, and then what was it, like Armageddon or some shit?
Armageddon, and then you'd get like, it'd be some random name. Like, remember when Armageddon, the one with the hooks?
Yeah.
And then it'd be like,
No Way Out or some shit. You know,
No Way Out.
And you would have some like fire shit that take place. And it's like, now it's just kind of like you said, they get these throwaway matches for the first couple of pay-per-views into their championship runs. You know, Becky got godforsaken Lacey Evans was her first defense. And it's like, why are we doing Lacey out the door? Like, how? How does this happen?
Excuse me. I don't know if it's a measuring stick to see like if this kid can hang or whatever. I don't want you to do that. Don't do that. No, go right to the epic programs, okay? So we can get this shit popping. Stop trying to build these other people. Let them build with someone small. Lacey Evans is like, I don't even understand how she got so many title shots the way she got them. Like no offense when I say this, okay? Lacey Evans got to be one of the worst female wrestlers to come out of NXT. Like she had the good gimmick, she had the good promos because she was a bit of a jerk, and then she gets the wrestling. You'd be like, I've never seen someone botch so much.
Because they pulled her prematurely, good old Vinnie Mac, and I guess I don't know if it was, hey, we want somebody size-wise that matches up well with Charlotte, and at that time it was Charlotte, really just Charlotte in terms of that stature. Now you got the Biancas and the Rheas, you know what I mean, who are, big, big women, with lack of a better term, but yeah, they just pulled the trigger on that way too soon. Like, had that been something where continuity wise, we saw like Lacey on the rise, and they did maybe the MVP angle where, oh, she's the hottest free agent to get signed, and we saw her just have a series of like crazy matches, down in NXT before getting called up. Then all right, cool. But that just wasn't the case. It was just like, all right, how do we do that? Excuse me. So.
Yeah, because I feel like, for lack of a better example, Emma was more of a viable thing when she was like in NXT because she had great matches, and then she came up, and then the roster just ate her whole because they couldn't use her because she just was really good in the ring, and people were like a step far behind. What would have made me feel better? Bianca Belair versus Zoe Stark, and you give them 25 minutes. Rhea Ripley versus Zoe Stark, you give them 25 minutes. Or, but just like if you want someone to really make a name for themselves, you put out the people that are going to be like, she can't fuck. There's no way she can fuck this up. I've seen her on NXT. There's no way. Zelina Vega was a serious thing to us when she was in Andrade's manager. And that was like serious because she was like, she really built him up. And like the Andrade build thing was like a slow, quiet build or whatever. And that's why we started messing with Andrade heavy. If we start doing that the same way in reverse, where it's like with Zelina Vega, where like all of a sudden, like, yeah, she won Queen of the Ring. No one gives a fuck about Queen of the Ring shit or whatever. We didn't even believe that when it was happening. Who did she beat for Queen of the Ring? Do you know who she beat for Queen of the Ring?
Bro, I don't remember. The best part of that to me was they put Xavier Woods in that spot, and they did, while he didn't win any championship gold as a singles competitor after winning King of the Ring, they did kind of use him in a prominent space. Heard the same deal too. They put the tag titles on her, and she was on TV, featured on TV more. But that's a good question. I'm gonna go back and look. Or are you looking already?
I'm looking right now. Right now.
So they did kind of utilize her more, give her more visibility on television as a result. But, it wasn't, outside of that, it wasn't really memorable. Like, that's where they kind of, need to start utilizing, the talents better, with the Bloodline, for example. That was primetime A-list, writing at its finest. For that to still be continuing on. And and me as a big Roman fan as I am, you can't tell me that they knew this was going to morph into this when he returned at SummerSlam and attacked Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman. I don't think so at all. I think this just kind of developed as it went on.
No, there's no way you can see that because the thing of it is you have to watch Roman's character week by week to understand how much he's grown. And although I don't like the match in Night of Champions, I can understand why it's going down like that. I don't want to go down like that because of what the rumors they have for SummerSlam.
Yeah. But
you got to understand the maturation where Roman was like, no, I'm really that bad.
Yeah. And that's the type of writing they should have had around, a character, like a Zelina, if that's who you're going to make, the first up, first dibs on the title. Same with Io. Io didn't have, she's part of Damage Control, so the visibility's there, but what's the story? You know what I mean? But like, what are we getting told to make us want to care about these matchups. You know what I mean? They just throw away matchups. And, you know, I bring the bloodline up, you know, not only to just kind of get to our next thing, but that's the way that story was being told and the effort and energy that went into that. When we getting these lines, you know, I think, and I don't know, I'm not part of the system. I couldn't tell you how it goes or not, but it feels like as a fan, the writing is all leading up to WrestleMania. And then from there, you know, there's no game plan for after WrestleMania. It's like we're throwing darts at what's going to be next. That's how it kind of feels.
Hold on one second. Ladies and gentlemen, the highest in the room has made his appearance. The clutch one has been in this area. Don't say nothing, major intro. Here we go. Major intro. Go ahead, give me intro, big guy.
Clutch Daddy is back, man. I've been revived from the dead. That's a long story. But yeah, I missed y'all.
Missed you too, buddy.
Glad you're alive, buddy. Sweet Lord. Good to see you. And all your glorious shit. Holy damn. What? Hold on one second, ladies and gentlemen, before we get to this bloodline versus this bloodline feud and shit, which is fucking stupid. Clutch Daddy's been missing for a while, but he's back. Okay, he's here. He's here now, and that's what matters. Okay, that's all that matters. Okay, prayer changes things. God is good. Weed is not a drug. Weed is not a drug. It's from the earth. So weed is good. And at the end of the day, Clutch Daddy gonna clutch, baby. You know what I'm talking about? Okay.
Clutch rate 25.
Right. All right.
Well, yeah. What was the discussion that was being discussed? I heard bloodline stuff and well,
we're getting to the match at Saudi, which is going to be Sami Zayn and KO versus Bloodline, which is actually going to be Solo Sikoa and Roman Reigns. Mm-hmm. I have my thoughts on it. You two are welcome to hash out your thoughts on it and go from there. Either one of you can start. Clutch, if you want to go first, you're welcome to.
I'm going to say let Clutch go first, man. We haven't heard from him in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, then with the bloodline topic, this is easy because I was kind of just thinking about it. It's like I don't know if they did that to say like, okay, this is what's next or what's left for them in the story or what, but I don't know. How do you book that match and Roman still look strong if they lose? Like seriously, because we all know, like if they lose the match, Solo gonna take the pin. We've seen him take, L's lately, but not like easy ones. But even still, they setting up. I don't know, like I don't think either it's too soon for that match, or I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's just too soon. Because anybody that loses in that scenario is going to take a huge drop off. It's like if KO and Sami lose, was it a bad reign where they're transitional champions just to get the belts off the Usos and put it on the bloodline? That's the whole part of the story. But then once again, Roman not going to take a pinfall L, not in Saudi, and definitely not in a tag team match with a belt on the line, and then it just kind of puts Solo in a bad position. It really kind of does. But I don't see Sami getting pinned in Saudi with the politics and stuff that goes on with that, and him actually wrestling in Saudi for this particular chance. So it's like, how do we see him losing? But then, damn, yeah, this looks like a setup for Solo Sikoa to take the L. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm with you there, but I'll introduce this chicanery here. I think if we're going to continue to perpetuate the narrative of this bloodline breakup, you have maybe the Usos come in because they haven't put no stipulation on this match yet, right? Like this is just a straight up match. So any type of interference, it is automatic disqualification. Sami KO retain. You know what I mean? So they could go and play the safe route with it that way, which is kind of how I think it's gonna go, which furthers the narrative of the bloodline breakup. But it also furthers the narrative that I've been saying for a while. If it goes the opposite and Solo and Roman win, we start to see Roman as the belt collector.
Bro, I thought that too because it's almost real obvious. But then I thought about this: have the Usos been able to wrestle in Saudi since they've been going because of them DUIs?
I don't think they were there the last time. I think the DUIs kept them from getting there.
No, seriously.
They were there last time when they faced he faced Brock Lesnar. They were there.
No, one of them wasn't here.
Yeah, Jimmy
was
because Jimmy had like a new DUI.
Yeah,
it's bad when you
wait because there was an instance I think, or was it Canada? It was assumed that they weren't going to be there.
Yeah, they went to run up, but that's me down.
Yeah, and so it was assumed they weren't going to be there, but they was there for that.
We thought Drew was going to win at Clash of the Castle because they couldn't go to that because of Jimmy's fresh DUI.
So that was the emergence of Solo.
Right. Yeah. The fresh off, just drunk Jimmy. Just take me to jail. I don't give a fuck. I'm with fucking
yeah, Jimmy was off that sauce, that whiskey.
Take me to jail. I'm Jimmy fucking Uso. Okay? Have you seen my wife's cheeks, motherfucker? Okay.
Exactly. We're trying to get it right for Trinity. Them Trinity cheeks.
Right. Who they also don't get me started.
Don't. Joe.
Don't get me started.
So it's one of those things, man. I think I'm thinking it'll go like what I said initially, which is, the Usos interfered, costing the match, and they further that storyline of a breakup. But if we do see Roman with the tag titles, it furthers the storyline in terms of Roman being a belt collector, because now Roman can appear on Raw, which now has its own new World Heavyweight Championship belt title, who will also be crowned at Night of Champions. And guess what other belt he can go after? Now we're talking straight up pure WWE 2K23 type storyline where Roman has all the titles.
I want to mute you so bad right now it hurts, because if he hears that and that happens, I swear the wrath.
You just went full Tony Khan.
You did. You went full on. You literally listen.
Only thing you did do pull the control out.
Listen to me right now, and I mean this with the utmost disrespect in my heart. If Trips lets this shit ride where this motherfucker gets all these fucking titles and just showing AEW that he can do it better because his pride in the way they did with Kenny Omega, that'll certifiably piss me off. I'm not even gonna fucking lie to you and be like PC about this shit. No! do not give this part-time man the same thing that Kenny Omega, Bobby Lashley, Kirk did, okay? No! They were there every week. Every freaking week. This man better not win them tag teams. I swear to you, if that's why Paul Heyman was talking to freaking Punishment Martinez and Finn Balor, I'm going to lose my shit. I'm going to lose it.
Hey, man.
Man, now Judgment Day secures their spot to have a match for the tag titles again,
and then they lose.
Not
gonna give them the titles.
Or Punishment joins the Bloodline, like I've been saying, because we're gonna see a new Bloodline, guys. I don't know if you guys know that we're getting ready to see a new Bloodline.
Let's.
You think they're gonna replace the Usos with somebody else?
I think so. I mean, you got some options. Okay, do you want to keep Solo as a singles competitor, or do you want to put him in a tag team? You start there, right? Obviously, you got some Samoan guys. You got he got drafted on the Raw. The guy that was down there in NXT, I can't think of his name. He has a good look. He actually reminds me of Roman a lot. Quinn,
Zion Quinn.
yeah, he actually reminds me a lot of Roman.
Is he Samoan?
I believe so. I could be wrong, but I believe so.
I'm Googling it.
But yeah, man, I think it just opens that rabbit hole, and with Seth continuing to try to say, "Hey, yeah, I'm the man. I'm the only one he hasn't really, had the opportunity to, definitively beat as champion." Seth wins that title. I'm not saying we want to make Seth a transitional champion, but maybe we make Seth a transitional champion. Steph's a busy guy. He's obviously filming Captain America 4 right now. So
Zion is Aussie. He's not. He's like Bronson Reed. He's Aussie.
Oh, he's Aussie.
Yeah.
Okay. But they got some Samoans like Dakota's Australian, right?
She's
part Samoan, but
she's a part Samoan, but she's from New Zealand. So, like, is she in the family? Like, she's like far in the line. Like, who broke this? Jacob Fatu wrote it down. Jacob Fatu, like, everybody in the bloodline, it's Roman, Usos, Wild Samoans, Ishii, Fatu, and then Jacob Fatu, and somebody else. And then he said The Rock's grandmother, Hachi Peter Maravilla, are in the family, but The Rock was in there because of that. And because Rocky Johnson married him.
Part of the family. Yeah.
That's how he's a part of the family. Then Jimmy Snuka's in there too. Then that means Tamina's in there. And then also on the other far side, there's, I don't think Tama Tonga's part of the family.
I don't think so.
But I think but he close with Fatu. So he might be.
I mean, they probably from the island, but they're not from the same bloodline.
Right, but I think that's where really resides in terms of how it's set up and broken down. Now, with that being said, this is my whole take on this whole Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa versus Sami Zayn, and Kevin Owens. No. I don't care if they win by disqualification, and it turns out that Roman Reigns just wants his get back to be able to beat up Sami and KO for what they did to him, respectively, at their different. I don't know. No. I don't care if the Usos accidentally kick Roman Reigns in the face, and that's how they end up losing. Cool, fine, keep it that way. Do not put them titles on that man. Solo Sikoa don't need no title. Okay, he good, big fella, good. Don't do that. Don't look at me. Don't you do this. No. That man is a part-time champion, and you need to be focusing on getting him another challenger for the next event for him to wrestle at, because he is not going to be another tag team. No. It don't make sense. Why? After him being gone, damn near 3 months, are we going to say, you know what, Roman, I don't think you have enough gold here to become a tag team champion. He ain't going to be here to defend him. What's the point?
And this is why I say Trips will do it. This is why I say Trips got the balls to do it. I know y'all have seen this meme before, and that's why I mentioned the game. Because remember, somebody made a meme where they had Triple H like with all the titles, and he had all the titles on his arms. Like, he even had the Divas Championship. Like,
listen,
he was holding all of the titles.
Remember when him and Stone Cold did that shit? Where they had
Power Trip, 2-man Power Trip.
All the fucking titles? No.
2-man Power Trip.
Listen to me. No. They were there every week. Every single week they were there. So they looked dominant. We know Roman is great. He was giving us 5 or 6 years of nothing but being there every week and kicking ass every week. Cool. You can have the part-time schedule, but the tag team titles stay prevalent where they can be defended every week. Because your main event has been what? Every week. Tag team titles. Tag team titles. Tag team titles. Every now and then, like a Cody thing or a Brock thing. Tag team titles. You take that away. What do we have left? You're not going to use Gunther. You don't use him now. No. 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 Trips, Paul. No.
Big Gunther, big Gunther versus Big Solo.
Listen. If I'm doing fancy booking, you know what I'm going to do? This is what I'm going to do. Here we go. I am going to put the Judgment Day, take out Sami and KO. There's going to be a dramatic thing where Solo tries to pin Sami. Sami kicks out at 2. The Usos run down. They run down. Right? And they're trying to help out. The ref is out, everybody's out or whatever. And what happens? They pick up KO, super kick him. Sami's in the ring. They go to kick Sami. Sami ducks, hits who? Solo. They panic. They lose their shit. Roman gets in the ring. What y'all doing? Why y'all doing this shit? I should beat your ass. Actually slips out an N-word because Roman Reigns almost said the N-word one time. I don't want you guys to forget that. But
them Samoans say it.
They said, I know Roman almost said to Seth Rollins.
They definitely say it.
So what happens? Judgment Day hasn't left. What's his name? Kevin Owens comes with a chair, swings for the fences, hits Jay. Right?
Mm-hmm. Roman
sees it, doesn't defend anything. Jimmy sees it, gets hit with said chair. Kicks him out of the ring. Drags Sami to the corner. Roman gets tagged in by Solo. Who's there? Judgment Day's still there. They run the fuck up. Who's that? Finn Balor? Drop kick out of nowhere. Hits fucking Roman. Okay? Roman, dizzy as shit, says, what the fuck? We had a fucking deal. This, that, and the third. Usos get back in the ring. Sami stands up again, ducks again, hits Roman. Panic, shock and awe, the horror of it all. Ref wakes up. Sami plops down on Roman. 1, 2, 3. Ding, 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 ding. Out of his control, pure chaos. Stuff is going on everywhere. You know what that's going to do for these next couple of weeks of shit? It is going to be dramatic as fuck. Now you can give us Solo Sikoa and Roman Reigns versus Usos without a fucking belt, by the way, and it actually is on paper to make you money. And then guess what? Just then, and forget about you too. Give me Punishment Martinez versus Roman Reigns. Mwah! Chef's kiss. Give me that shit too. Ooh, even better. Dom and Finn versus freaking Sami Zayn and freaking Kevin Owens. It writes itself. There's so many matches that you can do. Punishment Martinez is over. Over. Him and Bad Bunny put on a banger, if not the best match of the night in the first place. You don't need him to carry any more titles. You don't need it. You don't. You absolutely do not need it. It is not necessary. Do not make him a belt collector as someone who is a part-timer. Seth had a whole interview, has 1 million views of him saying he wants change. If you don't go with that, you are breaking everything that you're building right now. You are literally building a mansion on sand. Stop it. Don't let this man win them titles. Cut this shit out, okay? Set this shit up set SummerSlam up for something nice, some real delicate like. You find a great baby face. You find an amazing babyface that Roman can kick ass with. You make sure that Roman can go 30 minutes with this man. I don't care who it is. I'll give you Ricochet. I'll give you Chad Gable. I don't give a fuck. Just give me a good face that he can go with for SummerSlam and give them 30 minutes. I guarantee you it'll blow it out the water. But if you make this man the belt collector and you put the Usos, who I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna say it out loud, are just as bad as the Young Bucks with these super kicks and shit, and they're getting stale, versus Solo and Roman Reigns at SummerSlam, I swear to God, I'm gonna pluck my fucking eyes out and burn them over a skewer and eat them myself. It's fucking stupid. Don't do that. Don't you fucking do that. That is stupid. That is a dumb match. That is dumb. You're going to Detroit. I think going to Ford Field or some shit like that. I think going somewhere huge.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Don't make the Usos versus Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. We don't want to see. No one wants to see that. No one wants.
That's why I'm saying I think we're going to see somebody. I mean, if you take the tag titles off of KO and Sami, you got to give Solo a viable tag partner, because like they're not going to have Roman in a tag match at SummerSlam. I don't see that.
That's stupid.
I don't see that. You know, but I also, it's kind of hard to not see it because
God damn it! Now you get
the baby face you mentioned that he should be going up against at SummerSlam got drafted to Raw. So there's that. Unless they have him face Edge.
Come on! Look, man, come on, bro. Come on, bro. There's so many things. Where's Bobby Lashley?
I mean, he can face Bobby. He can face Roman.
Give them 30 minutes to cook.
I definitely wouldn't be mad at that.
Just give him 30. Give him 30. Just give him 30 minutes.
And Bobby can totally give him 30 minutes.
If you give them 30 minutes of Bobby Lashley versus Roman, let them cook. You already lost Drew to this bullshit. Because, listen, look, Bobby Lashley going to do business. He's like, listen, I want to be relevant again. I'll do whatever it takes. He's even said, I want Roman Reigns. That's what he said. So he knew that eventually this shit could turn to some shit. War games and war games. If somehow the bloodline stay together and you give me the Hurt Business versus the Bloodline, 5 stars. There's no way it could go wrong. There's no way.
When would War Games be this year?
Probably October, November.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Now, is there a way to keep the bloodline as it is together until October? Me personally, the Usos, Solo, Roman bloodline, I don't know.
The only way you do that is you
make a new variant.
You got to make the Judgment Day turn on the bloodline. Like you got to make it like if this was me booking where I wanted to do it that way, have the Judgment Day go in and like as soon as they're about to cover Sami and Sami kick out of 2, instead now just have Damian Priest go stupid and beat everybody ass in just to show how dominant they are. And then on Monday, they're like, look, we're not for fucking sale. We're not for business. Fuck you, all this other shit or whatever. And then all of this, and they make it even better. You know what else you can do? Triple threat, War Games, Judgment Day, Bloodline, Hurt Business. Writes itself, guys. You telling me you don't want Rhea Ripley and fucking War Games with all those?
With all those big men slapping me?
What?
That's Big E's dream right there.
It writes itself, bro. Bro, there's no way you don't lose that, bro. There's nothing about that you can't lose that. You can't. You have listen. Every triple threat War Games that we remember has been fucking epic. Chef's kiss. It hasn't missed, which basically means one of the following. You got to have high flyers. You got that. You got to have technical. You got that. You got to have people that are crazy. You got that. That's not going to change. It's going to be epic. It's going to be fucking nuts. It's going to be, I'm telling you, bro. Telling you. If you build it, they will come. Right there in front of you. Don't give this man these fucking championships after he ain't been on TV for almost 2.5 months. This man ain't been on TV. No. Yeah, no,
Why
2.5.
ain't no Roman like that, man. He didn't earn the
He earned it.
part.
Listen, 5, 6, 7 hard years of hard work. He earned that part-time schedule. He carried us through the dark times of fucking COVID. Yes, him and Drew. Okay, fine.
Not more so, Drew. I'll get that Drew more so.
Yeah, he want this part-time schedule. Fine, he can have that. But them tag team titles that you've been pushing every fucking week need to stay here. Period. And Sami and KO don't need it. Yeah, you're right. But other people need it. Dom needs it. Finn needs to get back.
You know what? Wow, I literally, I don't know how I didn't think of this earlier when you were saying that. We haven't even mentioned the OC. If AJ doesn't win this title at Night of Champions, there's your opponent for Roman at SummerSlam.
And what have they shown before? They could put on a barn burner. This version of Roman is going to be just as good as that last version. Okay, heel Roman with tweener AJ Styles. Oh, come on, bro. And then you bring in hell,
and it can still end up being a triple threat or a fatal 4-way because we still waiting on Bray to come back. So that still could take place, or it could just be a triple threat. It could be Bobby because either one of those options. Me personally, I don't think y'all would mind it either. But Bobby versus Roman at SummerSlam or AJ versus Roman at SummerSlam, I think you can't lose with either one of those.
Listen, if you think that AJ ain't gonna want to put on a bar burner, listen, AJ SmackDown was rusty and still was out here looking fucking fire. Like he ain't missed a beat. Bro, you can't lose with that. Listen, that AJ Seth match is gonna be amazing. They've already put on big matches. When Seth tried to do the Hurricane Rana, no. When Seth tried to do the curb stomp, AJ caught him at the Styles Clash.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, that's gonna be awesome. Now look, AJ not gonna win that title match.
Too soon?
Huh?
Seth is in the middle of filming a movie right now too, so that limits his time on screen as well.
I mean,
now I don't know how big his role is in this Captain America film, but
AJ just returned from injury and he's on SmackDown. Not to mention Seth is white hot right now.
mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
It's like I almost feel like the belt was made to put it on him so that he can carry a particular course of Raw for them to set up stuff how they want to, because
absolutely
it's kind of obvious they wasn't going to go with Cody Rhodes, but they was going to fake it out. They faked us out on purpose with that.
Right.
Him and Brock Lesnar, they probably going to feud for probably like another 2 months, because Brock feuds is never really short like that.
Nah,
mm-hmm.
like so fucking long. And
it'll probably be a rubber match. Like Brock will probably get this next one, and then what'll be the next thing? Money in the Bank is after this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that'll probably end up being a street fight, and that'll probably be one of those things where Cody slays the Beast after Brock took him to Suplex City and destroyed him.
Or do we see Brock in the Money in the Bank briefcase match again?
No, hell no. The guy, Brock, no, he can't.
We see that again
because we gotta. I only say that because Brock gets this one right. He beats him at Night of Champions. You need the rubber match because Cody won the first one. So now you gotta get the go away. You know what I mean? You gotta have that third match. And if Money in the Bank is that next pay-per-view, they would have to have, I would assume you would have to have Brock and Cody in that briefcase match.
It can be. Once Seth wins it, Seth is gonna have a weak ass opponent, which is probably gonna be like Omos or some shit like that. I don't know, right? No, I'm serious. You know what's gonna happen. You know what's gonna happen. Stop it. Stop. You know what the fuck is gonna happen. Don't do that, bro. Don't do this whole shit where you don't know where WWE is gonna be like, okay, Seth won it. Your first opponent is.
They gonna pretend like we didn't just see that, but because the belt's on Seth now, it's like, look.
Right. Your first opponent is Otis.
No, you ain't
Come on, bro. Like, don't do that shit, bro. Like,
yeah,
Otis.
yeah. No, you ain't lying.
Bro,
We were just talking about that with the women titles. Like, yeah. So no, it'll totally. Yeah.
Because look, no shade to Jay. No shade to Jay. Did we really believe that Jay was going to take the title off Roman Reigns when he first won it? Hell no. Ain't no way in hell. Ain't no way. In the words of future, ain't no way. Ain't no fucking way. We knew that. That was not going to happen. Okay? That is a WWE formula. They win the title, you give them someone weak if you want them to stay. They win the title, you give them something strong, so they get the fuck out of here. That's how it's always been.
I agree. But you got to think about it. They just did the draft. And a lot of the baby faces you would think about that could do anything or should face somebody on the range legit, they all got drafted to Raw. Like, no, for real. Anybody you could think of that you would say should face Roman, from Cody to Drew. Shit. Yeah, legit. Bobby Lashley is on SmackDown, and then AJ is kind of like in between.
Yep.
That's it. Everybody else is on Raw. Seth, Raw. Riddle, he's on Raw.
Shinsuke Nakamura.
You got Bobby, you got AJ, you got Karrion Kross. If they propel him,
there is no hope of Karrion Kross to continue.
Listen, unless they have to rebuild him to be strong again. They have to literally build him from the ground up. Because
don't Rey Mysterio and loss. Continue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
he has to. He got to go ball again.
That's from an old legend.
Listen,
hair carrying. Yeah, not doing it. He got to go ball again.
And at this point, you got to think about it like this. Why do you want Drew McIntyre back so bad for Raw? I'll tell you why. Because you know that heel Drew and tweener Seth is a banger and is a program for at least 5 to 6 months.
That's SummerSlam right there.
That's a banger. You know that for a fact. Cody versus the Scottish Psychopath is a banger. You know that. You need Drew. Drew don't want to be Sheamus. Let's have a toxic time conversation. Drew McIntyre is better than Sheamus. He don't want to be Sheamus. I want a belt. You got to put something on me. I carried y'all through COVID. Give me that belt that Seth got, and we're going to go back and forth with it, and I'll let him have it at the end. But you're going to give me that belt. He is not trying to leave the League of Nations. He is not trying to come out to It's Fight Night. He is not trying to be out here saying, fella, Drew McIntyre is and will always be better than Sheamus. Don't give me the three-man band shit, because you know better. You knew he had to do that shit at the bottom. Drew McIntyre, in-ring, promo-wise, out of the ring, everything is better than Sheamus. I said it out loud. Now, if they want to treat him like Sheamus, he's going to AEW, he's going to Impact, he's going to NWA, and going to show you better than he can tell you, because he's done it before. Yep.
But do we have to say he's
agree with that?
But
I feel what you said at the same time. That's the crazy part, because Sheamus never had to 3MB.
Exactly. Ever. He never had to. He never had to shuck and jive.
He didn't have to leave and come back. None of that shit. He's beat Roman Reigns in a main event situation with a belt on the line.
Okay, watch this. This is how I'm going to decipher this. What's your favorite Sheamus title run?
The one when Cena accidentally fell through the table.
When he first started. It wasn't. It's not even relevant now. Drew McIntyre, from every title that he's won since he's been back at NXT or whatever, has given you something memorable every time. You know why he's done that? Because Drew got to be at the bottom. Sheamus ain't never. Okay, you know what the bottom for Sheamus was? League of Nations, and he was champion.
That's crazy because it's true.
That's the bottom for Sheamus.
Well, realistically, the Brawling Bruce is the bottom for Sheamus.
Boom! no Adam Cole pun intended. Boom! Like they put him there. Okay? All right, and he's had a banger with Gunther. Okay, he had a couple bangers with look at that, Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Look, bro, they want to give him this money. Cool. He's like, I don't want. He's like, you didn't pay me enough. I've got money. I'm good. Okay, but I'm fucking Scottish. Okay, I don't got a house in Scotland. I don't need this shit.
I think in this scenario with Drew McIntyre and Sheamus, it's like how I was growing up being a fan of the Hardys. Either Matt was your taste or Jeff was your taste, and in this situation, Matt is Sheamus and Jeff is Drew.
But we knew who was better. Like, don't you know what I'm saying? Like, listen. Am I saying this to any shade at Sheamus? No, because Sheamus, honestly, if you want to be honest, is the most consistent, hardest worker in WWE. Whatever you give him, he turns it into something.
That's why it's kind of hard for me to say it. Like,
but look, a lot of people not gonna say this. In ring wise, Owen and Brett are far and between far off. One was better than the other, and it was prevalent in one match. And they haven't done that match since, because God rest his soul, he passed away. But that one match was far in between, showing the measuring stick of in-ring who was better. Now, you're not going to say it out loud because that's your man's. Owen whooped Brett's ass and showed him a thing or two as a younger brother. And you can blame Bret Hart.
I admitted it. I admitted it when we had that conversation.
But we know, listen, we
begrudgingly admitted it, but yeah.
Right. But that's how I compare the two. Are they both good? Yes. Are they both great? Yes. But one in that ring does something that the other one cannot do. It's just what it is. It's like that. Listen, Drew McIntyre versus Gunther or whatever is good in WWE. Drew Galloway versus Walter in MLW, 40 minutes of pure violence, and it was beautiful. He's better. That match with Sheamus is good. It's 5 stars. The one they did at MLW, just as good. I love Sheamus. Let me not get on here and somebody watch this and be like, you hate. I don't hate Sheamus. I love Sheamus. I think Sheamus, for the most part, is one of the most underrated and underutilized guys in WWE because his vast knowledge is so much, and he's been through so many opponents, and he knows so much that he needs more respect on his name. But Drew McIntyre is that guy, and people are forgetting he's really that guy. If you go back and watch those matches on during the COVID or whatever, you put a crowd in there, you're not going to be able to tell that there's no one there because he's really that guy. Drew McIntyre is Impact. Drew Galloway was awesome. MLW Drew Galloway was awesome. Scottish Psychopath that made Dolph Ziggler almost relevant again is awesome. Even with the corny ass sword shit and the fucking kilt gimmick, still fucking awesome. Roman Reigns match at Clash of the Castle, he's only had 2 5 stars, and that's one of them with Drew McIntyre and Cody. That's it. That's all I'm saying. Now WWE, you figure out what you want to do with that and figure out how you want that to go. That's going to be up to you. But if I'm you, you better put that program with somebody. You need a belt, like a world heavyweight championship belt. Trips, go make him a belt. I don't give a fuck. Do something. But you better.
Trips made him a belt.
if he go to Impact, Drew Galloway is going to return, and it's going to be Josh Alexander, Moose, Bully Ray. Those matches are going to be epic because Impact got some heat too. There's money over there for him too. They'll throw a bag at Drew. NWA.
I think Impact will be a little more realistic for Drew than AEW. Just me being honest. If he left, I think Impact would be a lot more realistic.
Yeah, I don't want him to go to AEW at all. I have no. If he goes to AEW,
the matchups wouldn't look right. Like, not saying they don't have guys there that I wouldn't want to see him against, but nah, Impact would be the better fit for him.
All I want I know if he goes to any of those where he's been doing, all I want to see him is Bryan Danielson and Kenny Omega, and that's it. Like that's all I want to see. If I see him doing that,
Omega right away.
Yep, because Drew Galloway versus Kenny, like when I saw Drew McIntyre versus Drew Galloway in Impact, I was like, there's no way he got any better or any good at all. He got leaner, he got faster, he got smarter, he was more violent and more aggressive. Drew Galloway Impact versus Drew McIntyre WWE. Woo! You don't want those problems. They know better. Y'all better sign this man and hurry up and put him in a program with Seth ASAP as soon as possible. And if you want to keep making Seth strong where he survives an inch of his life, fine. But you better sure as damn well make Drew McIntyre the fucking man throughout this. You better make him one of your top heels in Raw. That's all I'm saying.
I think it hasn't been said yet that he's re-signed, but I think that's why he hasn't popped back up on Raw yet. I think you bring back Drew as a Scottish psychopath after Seth has won the title. And he don't have to come. He don't have to be the first one, huh?
I say he attack him right after you can beat AJ.
Yeah. And he don't have to be the first one out the rip to be like, yeah, I'm coming for you. He could just be like, yo, this your warning. And let you know. You know what I mean? And you go from there. But I think that's why he hasn't been on TV yet.
Claymore. All you need is one Claymore. Seth get the coronation fight, all the confetti coming down. Seth hold the title, turn his back. Boom! Claymore. Head flip. You know how you do it, the head flip and shit. Head flip come up, look over. Hair over his eyes or whatever, roll out the ring, walk back. Oh my God, is that Drew McIntyre? You fucking right it is. Look at that. And all his Scottish psychopath glory. Shit. Now we done gave you the formula, Paul. Use it wisely. Fellas, we got a bunch of stuff coming up very soon. One, the weekend of Blurred Bash, by the way, Clutch Tag, I see the information of that. We will be there. We will be present at that particular event. Guys, I really, really, really appreciate you guys stopping by and hanging out with us. And really appreciate you guys hanging out with us as well. Just so you guys know, and just so you guys don't ever forget it, I want you guys to know that we are Hot Take Wrestling Podcast. I see we got a couple people that hopped on. I appreciate you guys hopping on and saying what's up to us. That is awesome of you. Please follow us on TikTok at Hot Take Wrestling. Follow us on Instagram at Hot Take Wrestling. Twitter at Wrestling Take. YouTube, NMG TV. Look, the 27th and the 28th, I'm going to tell you right now, is going to be occupied by Night of Champions 27th to 28th. It's going to be Blurred Bash, and it's also going to be Double or Nothing, which, by the way, I'm going to try and find a way to watch that while there. Don't judge me, okay? My phone will be on supercharged, so I can watch that shit. Third, we have interviews these next 3 weeks, and I guarantee you do not want to miss the guests that we have. I'll put it to you like this. These next 3 guests that we have know as much wrestling as us and are way more craft in this vector of nerdism and wrestling than us. So you don't want to miss this. I'm not going to give away trade secrets yet. I'm going to do it Monday of next week. With a whole promo video. Yeah. Posted on Twitch. Thank you for the Twitch follow. Thank you for the Twitter follows. Thank you for the IG follows. Thank you for the TikTok follows. Again, we're growing every day. Old man Logan, give him your catchphrase.
All right, we the ones. And we want to smoke, baby.
Clutch Daddy, give me your catchphrase.
Y'all here. We gonna catch these clutch vibes, baby.
I'm talking about. Hey, don't forget us. Hey, we appreciate y'all so much, man. Y'all take care. I don't have anybody to say F you to. just yet. I don't like the double or nothing card. That's how I feel about it. I don't have to give you reasons. I just don't like it. There it is.
Fuck double or nothing.
I don't like double or nothing. I don't mess with it. I don't like the card.